Be faithful until the end, and you shall wear the crown of life. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Do not fear what you are about to suffer. Behold, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, so that you will be tested, and you will have tribulation for 10 days. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. Stand fast in that ye have purpose to do. For, he that remains faithful to the end shall wear a crown. Keep the way open that patience may have its course in thee, knowing that the crown comes to him that overcomes self. They that endure unto the end shall wear a crown of life. They that persevere shall overcome. He should be, and is, thy guide and thy light, and thy strength, if ye will trust in him. He that endureth unto the end shall wear the crown of life. He that letteth little hindrances become stumbling blocks is not worthy of those things that are glories in his name, yet he heareth ever. Abide ye in him. Let the glory of thy love guide thee, for righteous is he that believeth and doeth as he believes. Be thou faithful unto the end, and thou wilt wear a crown of life, for it has been given unto those who would seek his way will find it, and those who would gain an understanding will find the burdens of life easier in time. Remember all of our brothers, and we would stand in place of him. Be thou faithful unto the end and receive that crown that is ever for the faithful in heart, soul and body. Be kind, affectionate, loving, ever giving, ever preferring the other. Hold fast to that thou knowest, to do good. For he that endureth unto the end shall wear the crown of life, the crown of glory, and find rest, peace, harmony unto the soul, and shall hear the voice, Come, thou good and faithful servant, as thou hast been loyal over the few things, I will make thee ruler over many. As the body consciousness and mind lends a stability to others, then doubt not self, for to doubt self is to create that of a negative force that brings upon its return to self-discontent. See. For, as ye seek, ye shall find. Faint not at the long tarrying, nor be not unmindful that he that is faithful unto the end shall wear the crown of life. There will not be those things that are not understood, if there will be the opening of the heart to that consciousness that comes from the closer walk with him. Keep the way thou knowest. Keep the path thou hast trod in, for he is able to deliver thee in every trial, in every way, for unto him that is faithful comes the crown of life. Be patient, be kind. Be gentle in thy ministerings day by day, for though there may come those periods when the burden seems heavy, and the light fades in the life, yet he that is faithful unto the end shall wear the crown. Keep the fires of love burning in thy hearts day by day, for the love of God is manifested in the earth through those that are just kind one to another. In the applying self to the use of same, the entity should gain more reverence to the knowledge, as is felt and known of the divine that rules in everything, for to him that would be faithful over a few things, to him shall be given the crown of life. Be thou faithful, then, with the talents that have been given, finding self in service and making the oneness of the divine that shines from within. Even as there was the call in the past of those that needed his love, his understanding, so may thy part be in making known to others that there is that power being made manifest through this group, who put their trust in him, for the way ye know, even as it was given thee, and the place ye know, for ye may make many to know his name, even as I call thee by name. Heed, as thou didst of old, for this purpose brought I thee into being, that my love may be known in this land. Be faithful unto the end. Why is Edgar Cayce surrounded by such wrong vibrations and entities in this great work? For there has been the continued battle with those forces as Michael fought with, over the body of Moses. He that leads, or would direct, is continually beset by the forces that would undermine. He that endureth to the end shall wear the crown. He that aideth in upbuilding shall be entitled to that he builds in his experience. He that faltereth, or would hinder, shall be received in the manner as he hinders. There will come the sufficient to those that give of themselves to give the understanding to individuals, and there should be in the heart, mind and soul of those to ever give the best for God's development in their fellow man, for the service to the Father is giving of self for others, denying of self for others. O, ye of little faith! How oft has been given that the labourer is worthy of the hire, and the gold is mine saith the Lord, and the cattle on 1,000 hills. He that doeth my will shall ask, and there shall be given that necessary, to meet the needs of the inner and the outer man. Then be faithful, if thou wilt wear the crown of life. There is seen by the entity that in many of the various phases of the life there is seen that of the full concept of this experience in the life, both in the relations, for whom the entity prayed, and for those relations, with that entity and other surrounding, just as there's seen in the full concept of the entities at oneness bringing into the life more and more those beauties of those who love the Lord and his appearing. For unto him who is faithful is the crown of life given, unto him who would make self at one with his desires, his ambitions, being in that direction of giving to others that fuller concept of the Christ life in the earth today. Why are all my undertakings mostly confronted with such difficulty? Through difficulty, has the entity gained much of the experiences in the past, as well as in the present. Those that overcome difficulties may wear the crown. Those that succumb to difficulties are counting themselves unworthy. Keep the faith as is being builded through the love influence, putting behind thee those things that so easily beset, looking forward to the mark of the high calling as is set in him, through the ideals as have been set. Then the better things in the mental, the spiritual, the physical life, even in the present, will be that reward. Why did 2155 improve so much at first and then go back? Question not the powers that give or take, for all power is of one source, and he has mercy upon whom he will have mercy. Each as they seek to give the aid, the strength, the power of the Christ consciousness in the minds and hearts of those who minister with and for the body, gain themselves, add strength and power to those so laboring in body and mind, and aid the consciousness of the body being attempted to be aided, giving more ease, more strength to endure. Be not slothful, nor questioning, nor yet doubting, for, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Heaven and earth will pass away. His power, his word, his promise, endures forever. That called time seems or appears to be the factor that intervenes, should not make anyone weary or tired, for he or she that endures unto the end shall receive that crown, that mark wherein each recognize themselves to be set apart for a purpose in his name. Be faithful, every one. In considering then the studies that have been made with this group, in the understanding of the revelation, as given by the beloved of him, these as we find have been well, and as you each become conscious in your own experience of the movement of the influences through the body upon the various stages of awareness, there comes a determination, a desire, a longing for the greater light. To him, to her that is faithful, there shall be given a crown of light. And his name shall be above every name. For ye that have seen the light know in whom thou hast believed, and know that in thine own body, thine own mind, there is set the temple of the living God, and that it may function in thy dealings with thy fellow man in such measures that ye become as rivers of light, as fountains of knowledge, as mountains of strength, as the pastures for the hungry, as the rest for the weary, as the strength for the weak. Keep the faith. Will you give an explanation of why A.C. Preston, manager of ARE, was taken ill at the time, in the surroundings and under such circumstances? In New York while trying to raise funds for ARE. Are ye able to drink of the cup necessary to prepare thyself for the managing of, conducting, such interests, and directing the minds to such forces? Was asked, and the cup must be taken. As to whether ye be able to drink, that, as was given, ye will drink of same, as to sit on my right hand or my left is not mine to give, but when ye choose, as was given, there is set before thee this day, choose thou. Thou hast chosen. He that endureth unto the end shall wear the crown, shall be called the faithful, shall sit in the seat of the mighty. Each soul, then, should gain this consciousness, that in him is the light, him referring to that one that has been given into the world to become the Savior, the Redeemer of the world. Then, as one holds that consciousness, as one sets self to become one with that understanding necessary for the awakening of all forces and sources of activity within the physical consciousness, as related both to the mental and material conditions in the life, so does there come within self that awareness of that position held, that position one finds self within, and so is there given, through those promises that are in him, by him and through him, that necessary for one to meet those things in their daily experience, their daily walks of life, in such a manner, in such an understandable way that the yoke becomes easy, the burdens become light. He has given that he that is faithful shall wear the crown of life, he that has been faithful even unto the end, he who has known and who does know all manners of temptations that come to the hearts, the minds, the souls of men, both mentally and materially, and he has given, lo, I am with those who love me even unto the end. I will not leave thee comfortless, I will come to thee, as oft as thou within thine self will desire, will make self a channel for the expressions of that love which made him the Saviour of men. I had lost most of my worldly possessions. I was occupied in a capacity humble and looked down upon by many. I was disregarded. I was sweeping the dirty, wet sidewalks, trying to get them clean. This subconscious me viewed this physical me with pity. Finishing my task, I took a Sunday newspaper and started for the Cambridge to see my mother. My recreation lay in that Sunday funny page. It was a frivolous moment or physical relief for the physically struggling mind. Fast I held to my ideals, trying not to complain and to manifest the highest and best within me, and to show others, if only they would listen. Then the voice spoke, and the Lord spake unto me and said, But come, I will make you a promise. Such a promise have few men in the ages heard. Whilst thou art in the flesh, thou shalt labor and serve all man, but whence thou art come into the Spirit, thou shalt be risen unto me, yea even as the Christ, and thou shalt rule all of man. In this there is presented the promise, the lessons as have been given aforetime, as to that which the entity is to accomplish in the physical plane, and the truths and the lessons, as are to be given by the entity in the concept of the truths, as obtained by same. As there is seen in the foreground of this presentation of the promise, the way and manner, as to how this is to be reached, that the same great lesson, as was given of him, the Master. He made himself of low estate, that he might gain the more. He made himself abased that he might bring others to that light. That is, as is presented in the life of this entity here, that though others may laugh, may scoff, may even consider the entity simple-minded, vague, uncouth, uncomely, unreasonable, and the light of the physical world may look askant at the efforts of the entity, God looketh not in the outward appearance, but upon the heart, for, as is seen in this promise that comes from the infinite to this entity in the vision, as has been given of old, be thou faithful unto the end, would thou wear the crown of life. Or, as may be presented in another way and manner, that the entity may gain the greater concept of these lessons, as are presented in the beautiful vision and promise from the infinite forces in heaven, as there came unto the Master those that would say, This request we ask of thee. When thou comest into the kingdom, wilt thou that I sit on thy right hand and my brother on thy left? And, as the reply comes, This is not for me to give, but art thou able to drink of that cup that would merit that position? Art thou able to take on those conditions, as would bring that full consciousness to that inmost being of yourself, as to make of yourself no estate, that thou might serve others? As is seen and presented here in this may be given as the crowning glory of the promises, as have been made to this entity from time to time. Then, study these. Ponder these well in thine heart, for the glory of the Lord is ready to be shed abroad through thine own physical efforts, that others may gain the better knowledge of him.